Hi, Leah and Salima. It's JoAnna Rubino-Schiraldi, and I'm very happy to be taping my segment or my piece of contribution to the Frisco and Felicia 30th anniversary mini documentary that you ladies are doing. So I can't wait to see it. To start, what drew me to them? Well, I was a little girl, like many of us, 9 years old. Earlier than that, 6 or 7, watching General Hospital with my older sisters, and just immediately fell in love with Frisco and Felicia. It was their love story, their chemistry, the way he looked at her, the way she looked at him. I loved it all, and I was hooked from the moment that I saw them. And all these years later, I'm still hooked. The first time I found them on YouTube, I won't forget. It was 2013. I was 8 months pregnant with my third baby. Just coming off of watching Jack Wagners' recent return to General Hospital, and as the famous Frisco Jones, and I had gone to YouTube to find an interview or something that I had missed on TV. So I went to YouTube, and something led me to type in Frisco and Felicia, and all of a sudden all of these clips from the show from 30 years ago, 25 years ago pop up. And I'll never forget, it was like 1 in the morning, and the first clip that I saw was from Asian Quarter, part 116, and I remember sitting up, straight up in bed, big and pregnant, and my heart just beating a mile a minute, and me saying to myself, because my husband was sleeping next to me, I remember this, and just from then on, just the emotions that I felt from finding that, and all the emotions I felt watching that storyline as a 10-year-old little girl, just came flooding back to me. And then it just led to one clip after another. But that part 116, when Frisco comes to visit Felicia, and she says, that she trusts him and knows he'll come back to him, I just remember that like it was yesterday. What do my family and friends think about my love about Frisco and Felicia? My husband thinks I'm a little bit crazy. But I told him, I said, it's something that links me actually back to my second oldest sister passed away 20 years ago this year, and we were 10 years apart in age. So she would come home from school and put the TV on and change whatever cartoon I was watching, and we had to watch General Hospital. So I got hooked at a very young age and got hooked on that couple. So I think for me, all these years later, watching them and being able to relive those storylines I watched as a young girl connects me to her in a way. I think she would think it's really funny that I spend so much time watching them, but for me it's like a release. It's kind of like my happy place, that after taking care of my 3 little children all day, I can go and kind of escape back to a time that was really simple in my life and very happy, and that I can remember those memories of her and I watching after school together. My reaction to the 2013 return was very happy at first. Because I was pregnant, I hadn't been tuning into General Hospital a lot because I had 2 little boys, and so sometimes I wasn't able to watch it. So I would sit and watch it whenever I could. So I really, right before Jack Wagner returned in January of 2013, I just had found out about it, so I didn't really know about the lead up to it. So when he returned, I was ecstatic about it and thought that their chemistry had not missed a beat. Jack and Christina are gorgeous together, and they have something so amazing that just jumps out on screen that I haven't seen any other pairing. And so to see that again, 20 years later from their last, 18 years later obviously from their last time that he was on, was really special. And I was heartbroken at the end. I remember sitting there watching the end of the show and by myself, and my little ones were napping, and crying and thinking that wasn't how that was supposed to go, and really feeling not sure if my emotion was from the fact that I was so far along in my pregnancy, that probably a little emotional, but then I realized it really wasn't really that. It was more that I really was affected by them and really felt connected to them as a couple, as Frisco and Felicia, and it represented a lot to me as a child. And to see their legacy and their story treated so disrespectfully hurt me. So that's when I actually came to find Frisco and Felicia, an undying love affair, and linked to Salima and all these wonderful people, and really got to share what we felt about that, and remember truly what they are as a super couple and their story, and that the writers don't get and they won't get. What was the moment I was hooked on them? Oh, geez. There's so many, but I think that there's not one particular scene, I should say, that kind of brought it together for me. I have to say Asian Quarter is that's my most vivid early memories of them. That's the storyline I remember watching. I remember watching the end of the Treasure finale. I remember watching the lead-ins to that storyline vaguely. I remember that. I remember liking them, but Asian Quarter is what really solidified them for me, and I just remember that storyline so vividly, and the emotions I felt watching it, and how they interacted with each other, and how Felicia grew up and Frisco grew up, and how they grew as a couple, and the fierceness of their love. So that really, I was hooked. I was hooked before, and that really hooked me, and then I've just continued to do so. I think the continuous pull is their chemistry. I think that if you can go back and look at a couple from a soap opera that you've loved 30 years later and still feel the same emotions you felt watching them when you first saw it live, or the emotions are even stronger, which is what I've come to find, the enjoyment is better. Sorry.